Hey, so what is up guys, this is Pohdoh here, and this time I'm going to be doing a top 10 video. This time I'm going to be doing top 10 features or changes that the developers should add to Order and Chaos. And for my last video, it was a lot of changes, like, you know, do this, do that, fix this, fix that. But lately, Glyphs has actually been fixing a lot of the issues. They've been, you know, I would have said 8v8 PvP, but they're gonna do that. I would have said add new classes, but they're gonna do that. I would have said, you know, make new talent trees, new skills. They're gonna do that. So, anyways, here we go. Top 10 features. I'll try my best to make this as brief as possible. My previous video was like 20-ish minutes long. I'll try my best to keep it under 15, and if not, then I'll have a description of all the changes in the description box, so you can just read that instead of hearing me rant on. And in the background, it's gonna be like a timeline thing, because I couldn't really find anything, because I really wanted to like use this old gameplay, but I couldn't because it didn't fit anywhere. So I figured it might be best to use here, and that's all my epics. I got a shit ton of epics in GCL, and I haven't been doing any PvP lately, so and that's the reason why, because I just been getting epics. So anyways, for number 1, we should have meaningful crafting and meaningful profession. What is a profession? A profession is like tailoring, you know, sewing, hide working, letter making, etc, etc, etc. And one thing I never got is why is it that they're all the exact same shit. Like, they do the exact same stuff. They all make armor. They don't do anything else beyond that. They maybe make accessories, but that's it. They just make gear. And, you know, if you look at World of Warcraft, you know, all the professions are, you know, really diverse. You can make, there's a jewelry craft or a gem crafting profession where you can make gems. There's one where you can, you know, cook food. There's one where you can make potions. One where you can make buffs, and etc, etc, etc. There's just so many different options. I don't know why they just leave something like untapped like that. And anyways, look in the background. That's literally me making my first tune right there. That's pretty neat. Anyways, for my very first change is that we should have meaningful crafting. One thing I do not get is why is it that all the professions are the exact same profession, like tailoring, you know, smithing, letterworking, whatever. Why is it that all the exact same shit? Like, all you do with them is make gear. And it just leaves for so much untold possibilities. Like, for example, we should have 2 different professions, one where we can make gear and one where we can like make something useful. Like in World of Warcraft, there's professions where you can learn how to make gems, another one where you can learn how to make potions, one where you can learn how to make I don't even fucking know, learn how to make better mounts or whatever. Like, there's just so many different professions, and it adds a lot more variety, especially since you can sell what you make in your profession, like sell gems on the auction house for a lot of money and just for a better economy in general. I don't see why they don't implement it, but, you know, that's just my suggestion. I think everyone would agree on this, since, you know, crafting is pretty dull and pretty monotonous and pretty pointless right now. So I think that'd just be a great addition, and it would solve a lot of other problems, which I'll talk about in just a sec. For the next change, I would actually recommend making it so that we learn new spells as we level up. And you may be saying, oh, we already do that. Well, not really. You don't learn spells by leveling up. You learn spells by adding points into the talent tree. And the reason why that isn't good right now is because the talent trees are so small, and it pretty much means we're limited in the amount of spells and a limited amount of choices we have. So if we learn skills by leveling, we could potentially have, you know, 5 to 6 to 7 new spells that we can all learn, and we can all make new specs of, we can all play around with. And I think overall that'd just be a great idea. And just in general, we're just asking Gameloft to give us more options, and more spells and more skills in general. It's just going to give us more options. It's going to make gameplay for PvE, World PvP, PvP, whatever aspect of the game you're playing, it's going to make it more fun and more varied. And I think that's the issue right now, is that gameplay is too simple and it's not rewarding to, you know, really invest your time into one character. For my next change, it would be to update the mailbox. I mean, anyone who's used a mailbox know it's a giant clusterfuck right now. It is so frustrating to use. There's so many different problems. I don't even want to bother going through them right now. It's just like, you have to be an Order and Chaos player to really or an auction house player, or, you know, just someone who uses the mailbox often to really understand, you know, how stupid the mailbox is right now, how awkward and cumbersome it is. So anyways, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just fix the mailbox. Just do something with the mailbox. Update it, make it more useful, make it more practical, you know, actually just make it more practical. That's all we're really asking for. For my next change, this is probably the only change where I'm going to say fix this. This is a really big problem instead of adding something new, but fix the gems. And one of the best ways you can fix the gems is make it so that you can craft gems. You know, this goes back to the profession system. So you can hit 2 birds with 1 stone. You can solve gems and you can solve crafting just with this one solution. Make gems craftable and make them sellable on auction house. You know, besides the winter candy and the level 2 gems, which no one really buys because they're fucking useless, like gems, they're so hard to get. They're like almost impossible to get without paying runes. And you know, I know Game Loft, you're trying to make a profit, but you're probably driving away millions of other customers just by the massive, you know, paying curve at the very beginning. It really is impossible to do any form of real competitive PvP or PvE without level 4 gems or level 3 gems even. And I don't understand why they make it so difficult for everyone to get. You know, you should be appealing more to the casual players, as much as I hate to say it. Because as of now, this game is like 40% hardcore players, and that's not a healthy ratio at all. And I think the main reason why is because of the gems. It's so hard to really get into this game, and it's so expensive to stay committed into this game. And making gems craftable and making them purchasable with gold is in my opinion one of the best solutions you can do in order to fix as many of these problems as you can. The next change, I would highly recommend, or in fact I think it's necessary, that we get a new UI, a new practical UI, not the shitty UI we have right here, but a UI we can actually use and relate to. Like, you know, you really have to be an Order and Chaos player to really understand how bad the UI is at times. I'll have pictures in the background here, hopefully, showing you, you know, the issues with the UI. I mean, the one biggest issue is the chat box. Why does the chat box cover up 90% of the screen? I don't understand that. Before, it only covered the 40% of the chat box. You can still move while you're chatting. You can still view things while you're chatting. You know, that's just one example. The UI just in general is really clunky, and it must be changed if, you know, any kind of new features are going to be added. Every single update, they've been adding more and more clutter, and it's just becoming more and more cumbersome and more unbearing for the player base. As for the next change, it's gonna be a new looting system. I don't know what exactly you can do, but I don't think this really needs that much explanation. Ninjaing is still a thing. I don't know why it is still a thing. I don't know why Gameloft never ever changes. In fact, if you get ninja'd and you email Gameloft about it, they'll tell you that you did not get the item, therefore we cannot return it to you. Even if something really fucking stupid happens, like a warrior rolling on a mage staff or some shit like that, they won't compensate it for you at all. And you know, this will go on to my next point, which is, I mean, I can't really say it as a point, but customer support is so shitty that you might as well make the game as good as possible, so you don't need to consult customer support as often. And one of the best ways you can do that is by fixing the loot system, since that is one of the major complaints about the game right now, is that the looting system is really fucked up. Anyone can ninja, and you know, just make it really simple. Like rangers can only rangers get priority on agility gems. That simple. Or you can make it so that, you know, if a mage staff drops, then only the mage can roll. Just do something. Just fix ninjaing. I mean, it's such an outdated problem, and it's really shocking that Gameloft hasn't really done anything about it for this long. For the next change, they should add more guild functionalities. Right now, guilds are just over-glorified teams. There really is no practical benefit to joining a guild. Make a guild bank, you know, make a guild team, make a guild, you know, make a guild, I don't know, guild building, guild whatever. Just add more guild functionalities. I mean, if you really have trouble coming up with ideas, just go to World of Warcraft like you always do. That's where you get all your ideas from, and just copy them. Like, that's all I'll ask you for. In fact, forget this entire video. Just like it could be summed up to copy World of Warcraft step by step. That's all we're asking for. We're not asking for something big. We just want a World of Warcraft clone on mobile devices. So don't fuck it up. Just add features from World of Warcraft essentially. The next thing that you know, the developers should add are glyphs. And it might take a while to explain what glyphs are, so hopefully, you know, I don't blabber on too much. But essentially what glyphs are is they're a secondary talent tree. You can choose 3 glyphs, and glyphs have a big impact on your skills itself. So for example, one glyph can increase your magic regeneration, you know. One glyph can, you know, increase the damage of your fireball spell. One glyph can, you know, reduce the range of your charge spell, but then also increases damage. And so you can pick only 3 of them at the same time, and you can keep them forever. So it's like a secondary talent tree. You can choose between glyphs. You can, you know, equip glyphs for PvP, equip glyphs for PvE, equip glyphs for certain team compositions. You know, it just adds a lot more depth, and I think that's basically my big complaint with the game is that there's not enough depth in this game. It is not rewarding players for playing and mastering this game essentially. And for my next change, which I am a little doubtful it will ever happen, but make cross-server PvP. Game population is still an issue, and the reason why it's still an issue is because you fucked up, like 9 updates in a row, as this video shows right here how badly you fucked up. But regardless, cross-server PvP, it would just be a milestone for this game. Right now, the game is so cut up and so separated and so distant, so alienated between servers, and I think it would just be a great addition. Obviously it would be a great addition, but still, it's something that probably won't be added for a while, but it still is something that the developers should look into and begin working on, ahead of time. And for the final change, and in my opinion, probably the most important change for long-term progress, is add in-game moderators. I don't know why they don't have any in-game moderators or any active in-game moderators, so to seem. Right now, developers are so clueless on so many different issues. In fact, if we don't report any glitches, the developers will never ever know about them. They don't play their game, and their testers are utter horse garbage. They don't really test for shit. I mean, the past updates prove that the amount of glitches and the amount of bugs they released, on release date, it was so blatantly obvious that how did they not notice stuff like this? So, in-game moderators, they're necessary for communication. The forum admins are not enough. You as a developer, you can't do everything by yourself. If you want to, get customer support, this is probably the reason why customer support sucks so much. It's because you as a developers, you have too much power, and you're not letting anyone else do anything else in the game. See, add in-game moderators. Make it so that they can ban people. Make it so that they can give back items. Make it so that they can just fix the game in general while you are sleeping. Because fun fact, the the Order&Chaos developers, they're actually like 7 to 8 people, maybe 15 people at max, and they're on the other side of the globe. They're Chinese developers. So even if we do report an issue, they're not gonna know about it until like 12 hours later because they're sleeping while we're playing. Fun fact. So even if we do report a bug, they can't do diddly shit about it since they're not in work while we're playing the game. So that's just a fun fact, and I think overall, my main message is that we just need more communication, and I think in-game moderators would be one of the fastest and one of the most efficient ways to add more communication between us as a player base and them as the developers. Simple. So then again, those are my top 10 changes. It may sound like I was really angry. It may sound like may sound like this game is really shitty, which it is on many aspects. But this game is getting better, and that's one of the main reasons why I'm making this video, is because I'm optimistic about how the game will go. Developers are promising a lot of new features. They're promising a lot of new changes, a lot of new good changes as well. They're promising a lot of things, and they're actually delivering on many of them, such as the new warrior, talent tree is actually great. They actually did a perfect job with it, and I really want to build upon that momentum. I really want this game to succeed, even if I don't play this, maybe 2 years later, maybe by the time they make these changes, I would have quit the game already. But I still, want these changes to happen, for my fans, for you guys who will still continue playing this game even when I'm gone, for my friends and such, and just overall, just to help you guys out, since that's what this channel has always been, to help the community, no matter which game it is. And anyways. This is Pohdoh here. Tell me guys if you enjoyed this video. Tell me guys if you enjoyed the gameplay in the background. Tell me guys if you enjoyed the timeline kind of esque thing. This is gonna be a one-time thing since they only have limited amount of clips for all this stuff. And yeah, anyways, tell me guys what you think. Tell me guys if you agree with the changes, and tell me guys what your personal changes or additions to this game would be. It's Pohdoh here, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.